Good evening, everybody. All right, we've got a whole new dynamic in this market. We can see that the Dow trading positive today kind of broke this little downtrend, number one, and then created or confirmed this J-hook pattern. Now, this won't become as relevant until they can break out kind of through this area. But that's the less, less compelling of the bullish charts. Here is the one that really allows us to do the 2+2 analysis, which was bigger. When it broke out through here, the NASDAQ, we could see what was setting up, a little J-hook pattern. And if we can assume that a J-hook pattern has a wave 1 and a wave 3 equivalent to wave 1, that J-hook confirmation breaking out through this level was a good indication that this resistance or this wedge formation was not going to be acting as a resistance anymore. But this could be another nice strong trend, the same as this, which would kind of get us up toward this the trend channel. You apply that same analysis to the S&P 500. That's not. Something's wrong there. I think the S&P 500 was up about 18 points going through this level, which makes this the all-time high. Wrong on that. But anyways, the important factor was that when it got up to this resistance level, it gapped through it. Now, remember, we always have the analysis that if you see a gap up in the overbought condition, start watching for selling. However, if you see a gap up in the overbought condition at a relevant level that everybody else is watching, that has a different connotation. That pretty much tells you everybody knew there was a resistance level right here, and they gapped right through it, which means they had no more regards or no more concerns about that resistance level. So the reason we're pointing this out is if you can see where there is something that everybody is watching, like a resistance level, and we can have the advantage of seeing what type of pattern is setting up right at that level, that puts us in a great advantage of still being long or buying aggressively on patterns that are still working without the fear of everybody thinking, oh, we're in the overbought condition. Get ready. This is now a new dynamic in this market trend. So with that, we're going to take a look at the ones that we're in. We recommended Vail because of the fry pan bottom, and then notice what was happening right here. There was our trend kicker signal. And what's the trend kicker signal imply? There's going to be a lot more upside. And if that's occurring right here, what else is it kind of adding to our visual analysis? This fry pan bottom is working. Expect more upside. Here was another one that looked like it was doing a double bottom. It backed off today. but it didn't kill the trend. Notice where it backed off to, right to the T-line. So Kraton is still a viable purchase, provided it comes back up through today's open, because what would that tell us? That would tell us the bulls are still there. They couldn't get it back down below the T-line. So anytime we can add to our analysis, fry pan bottom with a big belt hold, and we know what the results of a belt hold signal is. They've wiped out a lot of sellers. There's less sellers in the way. More than likely, it's going to continue that uptrend. And if it continues that uptrend, what's it telling us about our fry pan bottom? It's still in progress. CGNX, still in a nice uptrend, and it kind of broke this little resistance level with a gap up. Now, a lot of these, I say a lot of these, are going to show up, quite a few of these showed up on the TOS scans, that if you just download the best friend and the best friend, you start catching some of these. Now, some of them aren't going to be true signals or patterns, but more than likely, they're going to be telling you you've got a strong trend in progress. Here is apps. Where were we waiting for this to break out? Right about there. Fry pan bottom working. So when we can recognize a signal or pattern in progress and where the potential breakout levels are, that just helps us identify when a pattern breakout is likely to occur. Now these showed up the other day on the TOS scan, the best friend scan. There's your doji gap up on UCTT. Same scenario on ICHR. Best friend gap up. So basically we can speed up our process of evaluating which are the strongest chart patterns and where are they heading. Dana, get a gap up doji right here at the 200. Where's your logical safety stop right now? Oh, yeah, yes, what is today? Friday's close. If it comes down through there, what are all the elements that we know that the profit taking has occurred? One, a gap up doji in the overbought condition. Two, the doji rule. Going to move in the direction of how they open after doji. If they open lower, what's that tell us about our logical resistance level? It's probably acted as a resistance level. Go with the probabilities. Take your profits. And kind of the same scenario. Where did your shooting star doji occur? Right about where it topped out before. So what's our scenario tomorrow? If it opens lower, you probably want to take profits. If it opens positive, you've got a doji sandwich breakout. Where's your next likely target? And these are the type you like to get stuck in. Breaks out through the fry pan bottom, J-hook type pattern. How long do you hold this one? Every day when you look at it and it's trading up above the T-line, you just take, tonight, if I'm looking at this, I'm taking maybe 5 seconds, if that, to say, yep, still in an uptrend. Let's go on to the next chart. Continue to hold this one until we see a sell signal. Iridium, there was your nice little gap up. There's your J-hook pattern. There's your Morningstar signal. Where do you think the next likely target's going to be? Wave 1, wave 3, at least up to this level. So the reason I keep pointing this stuff out is it's very simple. You don't have to make this difficult. Where do we anticipate this one going? Well, first of all, we want to see it get through this level. If it does, wave 1, wave 3 in progress. NTNX. Whoops, happened to be right there at that line. Where is this one likely going? In the overbought area, have a doji. What do we do here? I see it open positive and trade positive, doing a doji sandwich. Any lower trading tomorrow, maybe some profit taking. HTHT, wobble breakout, Morningstar signal, T-line support. Not too difficult to analyze. You just stay long. Visto needs to open positive to stay long. Oh, there's a whole other column here. PFNX. Nice steady eddy. However, look where we're sitting, right on the T-line. What's that tell us? They open this lower, you close it out. It has to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. So a lot of this analysis is just simple common sense. Where should things be trading? GLNG, just stay long as it stays above the T-line. Where's your safety stop on something like this? Down here below the T-line. CWH, just stay long, steady eddy. Carbonite, just stay long. HOV has had a good run, but look where it closed today. If you didn't close it out, what's it need to do to stay in it tomorrow? It needs to open positive and trade positive. PRQR. What does this one need to do if you've stayed in it? It needs to open positive and trade positive, giving you your classic fry pan bottom, J-hook pattern. Recognize this. Recognize this. That belt hold just gives you a very strong probability that they've wiped out a lot of sellers, less sellers in the way. The uptrend remains in progress. Okay, the biggies. Another element of identifying what the overall market trend is doing is what the indexes or the indicators that everybody's watching. Look at your little J-hook pattern on Labu. Wave 1, where do you think wave 3 could take you? Up here, just a high probability trade setup. Apple, you can see what's happened here ever since it broke out kind of through this level. Look at your bullish flutter kicker. How long do you hold on to this one? As long as you don't see a sell signal and it closed back below the T-line. Amazon, what can we recognize on this one? Obviously, this big belt hold signal. And then follow through today. What'd that tell us about the bulls and the bears? The bulls are still in this trade. They aren't giving up on it. Ever since here, they wiped out a lot of sellers. Amazon now becomes a very viable bullish trade on positive trading from here. Netflix was out of the picture for a while, but notice what it's doing right now. Look at your little left-right combo, your bullish Harami. If this opens positive, where's your next prospective target? Maybe back up into this trend channel. Why do we say trend channel? Because if we can see there's this and this, which is basically a parallel line, that's your channel. CB, go up and click on the red X up on your top right hand and come back in again. Up. Okay. Amazon, Netflix, NVIDIA. So this is kind of your indicators, or the ones that are in the limelight. And they'll come in and out of the limelight. But right now, the ones that we're showing, NVIDIA, Amazon, Apple, all of those are still in uptrends, which means the investor sentiment is still kind of pervasive. That's the right word, throughout the market. So there's no real major selling. Even Facebook, kind of consolidated, wouldn't be a buyer in here until it gets up through this level. That would tell me there's a new dynamic coming into play. And Tesla. This is why the TOS scans are relevant. Even though this did a doji, gap up doji, we know the simple rule. If it starts trading positive the next day, it's going to go positive. I was looking at, on hindsight, that on this day, right in here, you could have bought the 300 calls for $1.06. And at the end of the day, they finished at $9.65. So knowing, so this is why I always go back to, if instead of overloading yourself, trying to learn all the signals and patterns, if you learn what a few of them do, at least that way you have your own mental control of which signals and patterns or become an expert at the signals and patterns that you are watching, and then start learning some of the rest of them. Okay. So there's lots of good-looking setups right now. Right now, Roku, you can see the J-hook pattern. And what makes this so obvious? Where they couldn't close this one below the T-line. Where do we expect this one to move to? Right up in this area someplace. Because wave 1 and wave 3 are going to be approximately the same. Pick this one up on doing the scans on TOS today. A little gap up. And why was this relevant? Because no matter where you draw the trend, whether it's down through this level or off of this level, the gap up through that level told you there's kind of a breakout to the upside. How can I miss it? So they had a big gap up, consolidation right back here to the 50, now broken out. What's your potential in this one? Maybe the same magnitude as this right here. All right. ENPH. Look at your little kind of scoop type pattern. If this comes up through, look at for your slingshot effect off the scoop pattern. Showing this one to show what happens when they get to a breakout level. This is kind of the expectation. This is why the risk factor of buying right here is much less, even though you're in the overbought area, because that's where all the exuberance starts coming in on a pattern breakout. So I had another one, I think. Spotify. Kind of these fry-pan bottom breakouts. All right. Who wrote this? Fry pan bottom. Get ready to buy. This is SY. Omar. Fry pan bottom. Now they look more like a fry pan bottom if you stretch them out a little bit more. But notice your Morningstar signal and your doji sandwich. There's your McMuffin, implying there's probably going to be a lot more upside. HMI. Series of dojis. Look at all the tails here. Morningstar signal, tail, tail, tail. Now they've told you which direction they're going. So after all this indecision, they've told you what their decision is going to be. If it breaks through the 50, where do you think the next target is likely to be? Back up in this area. An IVC, there's your Morningstar signal, there's your doji sandwich, and look where you are, right? Make this a little bit more exact. They come up, humbug. I hate these things. It comes up through this level. Look at wave 1, wave 2, breaking out into wave 3. So part of the analysis is not only recognizing the signal, but watching where the breakout levels are that everybody else is probably watching. 3, doji, 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 breakout right here at the 50. If this opens positive, where's your next likely target? So these are recognizing the reversals and then recognizing where the breakout is based upon that strong buying or that strong buy signal coming in. There's kind of your Morningstar signal, McMuffin, scoop type pattern. Look for a slingshot effect to the upside. So with this market, especially the NASDAQ, and the fact that they broke out through this level today, the rhetorical question is, why are they buying this market here? And we don't have to know that. All we have to know is that they are buying this market here. So with all the political rhetoric going on, all the Middle East stuff going on, all the things out there that can affect an investor sentiment, what's the investor sentiment doing? It's showing that everybody is buying. So I get so many people asking, well, what do you think the market's going to do from here? I have no earthly idea. I just let the market tell me what the market is doing. That way I'm positioned in the correct direction. What if the Fed cuts rate Wednesday? Blue, doesn't matter. Yeah. We don't know what they're going to do. All we can do is watch to see what the market tells us, whether it liked it or not. So we're not trying to be analysts. With candlestick analysis, you can be an analyst by analyzing what everybody else is analyzing. So anyways, that was short and sweet tonight. But there are a lot of good, this is the type of thing that we're finding on, that's not it. Here's what, doing the simple scans over on Thinkorswim. There's my minimum of $5 a share. Oops, I think up further is average. Oh, there it is. Average volume. somewhere's 200,000, there it is, 200,000 shares a day. And then the formula for the best friend. Right. So once I put all that in, now I've just made kind of a scan change that I want to see what stocks were up at least 4% on the day. So there's my list. So there's Crisp. You can see that Beyond Meats has reversed. So this at least gives me a list of what to go look at very quickly. So Tiffany's was one. Do I want to do anything with this? I don't know. But if I was you can see how the fry pan bottom breakout worked. Big move. Now, was it an acquisition? I didn't know that. And then I think, what was the other acquisition? Fitbit. They're acquired by, or being acquired by Google. So why are people buying this market? I have no idea, but maybe there's an underlying factor. This is just pure speculation. That the market is getting good. People want to expand, and it might be much easier if they start buying some of the smaller companies. That might be adding to the strength of this market. Again, that's pure speculation. But they're buying this market. Could it be because earnings are better? All sorts of things. All we really have to analyze is that they're buying. Okay, I think, oops. Oh, there was a couple more. That's where Tiffany was. And Crisp. Pilgrim's Pride, another best friend gap up. CRCM. So if what do we do with this? Fry pan bottom gap up. Well, that's where you want to become an expert on what happens after a doji gap up. That's right. Turkeys are up. Okay. Any general questions on candlesticks? Yes, we're getting closer to it, Joe. I've had a call into the education department at Thinkorswim. And they've been saying they'll call me back. Well, that's happened 3 times now. If worse comes to worse, I can at least go through the simple scanning techniques of how to set up your scans. And the reason I would do that, even if we don't get help from TOS Education, is that if everybody starts knowing, or at least knows the basics of how to set up their scans, I know there's probably a couple dozen people in the chat room that know how to do scan setups much better than I do. That if we at least get the basic going, everybody can start adding to how to improve the scans, and we'll do a couple of them. That's right. The more scanners we have, the more good let's see. By identifying, there's your Morningstar signal. There's kind of your fry pan bottom. There's kind of your breakout through this level. You're in the overbought area. You might be in wave 3. So it doesn't matter whether you discern if there's going to be more upside. If you own it, you have your stops at a logical place, like at today's open. Eric, yes, that's what we're in here for, is to share the scans. So, yeah, there's nothing secretive in here. This is to teach people, everybody, the same thing, how to find the best trades each day. What is the first symbol? Oh, was it veil? That one? On a fry pan bottom, recognizing a dimple, is there any significance if the dimple is inverted? No. Let me find a. Oh, there's a couple more that I missed. I've been drinking early tonight. Look where this little doji bullish confirmation occurred. Breaking this downtrend and right here on the 50. So if one of your trading methods is to buy off the support levels, at least this way you can scan for the biggest price move off the 50. There's a bullish engulfing signal on Trox off the 50. Wave 1, wave 2, where's wave 3? Okay, Brad, you might be the teacher first. CB, if it's just you, it might be your feed tonight not working the best. Okay, I'm reading all the questions here. There's 14 of them over there. All right. You're on a train at the most. That might give you a little bit of hint, CB, that you might not have the best connection. This is, I think, the December contract on crude oil. You can see it's not going anywhere major just yet. And between you and me and the fence post, I'm pretty sure, I have a feeling that crude oil, because the U.S. has become its own supplier now, you may not have any major moves in crude oil for quite a while. Okay. If you have too many charts and watch this open in that will cause delays. Okay. I'm watching Don, so yeah. But I have faith in them. Okay, Jim, go ahead and do the double line. And another interception. Baba? Yeah, not anything great until it kind of breaks out somewhere in this level. You have a J-hook pattern setting up. TRBV. Whoops, I skipped something. You can be buying this one after all the support right here off the 50. I don't know where I skipped to, so I gotta CLR bigger, so see them. Nothing here. That's not a real good, vibrant chart. Having a hard time. If this opens lower and you're long, close it out. As a matter of fact, might be even watching for a short. But it's not anything right now that's showing any dynamic strength. And deck, if you're short, you stay short. Just watch to see what happens when it gets back down to the 50. ACAD, you can stay long as it stays above the T line. Oh, man. I must have done. Okay, Alexa, stop. What did it? Was it HAX or ACAD? I said something where my Alexa came on and started gabbing at me. AJX, nothing great here. If you were short, if it opens positive tomorrow, you want to get out of it, but I wouldn't necessarily be going long. And CTL, this one you stay long, but you are at kind of a congestion area. If it trades lower, I'd close it out. That tells you they're having a hard time getting out, and then watch to see what it does at the T line. Right now, it's not showing any great strength unless it opens positive and trades positive tomorrow. Maxar, nothing here either. When they did this big bearish engulfing signal and closed back below the T line, it needs to show something resilient to get it back into a bullish mode. Home Depot, you can stay long. It's not a real vibrant chart either, but on a longer term basis, you want to just stay long. NEO. This one's got a little scoop type pattern. You can be buying this one. Just watch to see what happens here and here. But if you're buying, just be a little bit more diligent as far as watching to see what's happening at the resistance levels. LX, there's your double doji breakout. Stay long. Have your stop back below the 200. And DBIO. You can buy this one. Looking for that level again. MRTX. Nothing there. You can see you're in a wedge and it's not going anywhere. I wouldn't be a buyer until it can break out to the upside. Tupperware. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Got a kind of a fry pan bottom, and you gapped up this area. You can be buying this one. And Mio, another fry pan bottom breakout. Also a good looking chart. You can be buying this one. Coop, Morningstar, if this opens positive, you got kind of a McMuffin, and anticipate at least it coming back up to the 50. You just have to watch to see what it does here at the 50. We did Tesla. Tesla used probably today's low as your stop. Apple still a good steady uptrend, but also I would use yesterday or Friday's close as my stop. Here, stay short. Notice how they haven't been able to get this up above the T line. In QCOM, nice breakout. You can still be buying this one on the fry pan bottom breakout. Look for the next wave. Under Armour. Nothing wildly exciting. Needs to get up through this level, and then it needs to get through here. So you do have a fry pan bottom. If you're long, you can stay long as it stays above the T line. But you're now looking for something to break it out. Gold, not really going anywhere. Just sideways. And silver, same thing, not really going anywhere. CLRY, not going anywhere of any consequence. These are. Nothing there yet. If you're long, it has to open positive and trade positive to stay in it. Nally always pays a good dividend. If you like it, you can be buying it, but you're buying it based upon the dividend being the strong point. And there's, again, that gap up message. Now you've got PayPal going in a 45 degree, so you can stay long. Costco. That's a toughie chart. If I had been short, I'd be out of the short. I wouldn't be going long yet until you see more confirmation. That's Costco. AXSM, this one you can get ready to buy on the Morningstar type signal on positive trading. And Clovis. Oh, CLVS. That one, breakout. You could be buying this one. Just watch to see what happens once it gets to the 50. Let's see, didn't we do GameStop earlier? GameStop, you just stay long, but it has to stay above the T line. And MLCO, you're getting a little bit toppy with the shooting star. I'd have a safety stop probably halfway down this candle. If it came back in that direction, it's coming back to test the T line and the 200. And Fox, this one you get ready to buy based upon your J-hook pattern that's using the 50-day moving average as your support. Go, yes, stay long, fry pan bottom. Boston Scientific, stay long, there's your message. Stay long on this one. Home Depot, I wouldn't trade it. Very, very slow uptrend. It's more of a longer term hold. MRTX is up 14, so it's up in this range. That is your breakout. Unisys, just stay long. That's a good looking fry pan bottom. Earnings tomorrow. ARA, another one that has a fry pan bottom. If it's trading positive tomorrow, also can be buying this one to get back up into this area somewhere. What are the rules for a message? Which one was the message? I forget which one was the message. ICHR, stay long, ever since your little kind of best friend breakout. Okay. CPRT, stay long. Need to see something positive though. The message is just a very simple analysis. Notice that they gapped it up, but traded it off, profit taking. But even though there was profit taking, what was the message? The message was they came into this with great enthusiasm. So you wait to see when the selling stops, then you can start buying. Okay, very good market conditions, especially with the NASDAQ breaking out and the S&P 500 breaking out into new territory. So with that, expect some more upside. Stay predominantly long. All right, everybody, we will see you bright and early tomorrow morning. We'll see you then.